Now it's time for OK Stop. We'll roll a clip, and Guy or I can say OK Stop at any point to comment. This week, Donald Trump attempted to revive his campaign with a series of interviews that mainly consisted of bragging about the size of his brain. And after he was roundly mocked for this by Chris Wallace on Fox News, Trump went back on TV to clarify. Let's roll the clip.
If you're in the office of the presidency, we have to be sure. I said to the doctor, it was Dr. Ronnie Jackson, I said, is there some kind of a test, an acuity test? And he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be.
Okay, stop. I just want to be clear that Trump definitely did not float the idea of taking a test about his cognitive capacity. Did not happen.
I also would just like to note the very rough situation that his hair is, considering he has to interview people outside. These are truly dark days for President Trump. I almost start to pity him. Also, one way of showing your cognitive acuity is remembering the name of the test.
It's well, yes, I do think that the pandemic has had some kind of impact. I mean, first, moving to the White House, I think created a challenge for him in getting his usual hair service. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's been some good reporting about certain kind of lattice work and some kind of an attachment or individual hairs that used to happen in Trump Tower at an office in Trump Tower. That's obviously not been available to him. So they've definitely had to move the contraption and machinery to the District of Columbia. Though it does seem as there's a dye issue lately. So I do think he's going through something with the hair. And I just say that, look, I've said this before. I begrudge Trump many things. I do not begrudge the man the crazy lengths he's gone to preserve his hairline. I respect what any man does to keep their hairline, from Joe Biden to John Travolta to Donald Trump. I respect all of it. I think it's important to respect that aspect of it. That's all.
And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult, like a memory question. It's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera.
Okay, stop. I feel like, there have been a few people that have tweeted this at me, and it's been something along said some version of, when you make fun of Trump for these things, you're being in some way ableist. And I actually think that there's some truth to that. Like when we were making fun of Trump about the ramp, about the cup, I do actually think that there's a sincere problem with that. There is a problem when you want to make fun of someone who takes great pride in masculine ideas and strength and toxically masculine ideas. Because when you make fun of them for not living up to them, you're also in a sense upholding them. I get that. But in this case, this is not about making fun of someone who may or may not succeed in this cognitive assessment test. It is making fun of someone for bragging about having taken it and having passed it. That's it.
Well, also, I mean, this is somebody who has been upheld by institutions like the University of Pennsylvania. He's got the best words. He went to the best colleges. And that at the end of the day, the thing he's why isn't he just bragging about the SAT he paid some kid to pay for it, to take for him? What that his great pride is that he passed it, that he can draw a clock.
He never, he can't let any pitch go by. He can't let it go by. He feels insulted. He feels embarrassed. Yeah, I mean, the truth of it is, this test is a sad test, if you just there's no God. It's again, you argue with Trump and you're stupid no matter what happens. It's This is a test you give to people who are in trouble, who are having difficulties, and you want to know, are you experiencing some kind of dementia? Is it somebody with Alzheimer's? Is somebody had a stroke and you're trying to see the effects of the stroke? This test is given not to celebrate the victory of having passed it, but to be relieved by having passed it. That's what it is.
To see how sad you are. Yes.
It's just about saying wow, okay. We've noticed some decline, but you know what? You've made it. You've passed these benchmarks. You're doing okay right now. These are tests that are given consistently to people with dementia to see where they are. It's so perverse that the president is bragging about it.
I'm saying all of this in a world where I would like it to be more normalized to brag about how you did on standardized tests. I did real well on the LSAT. I want to be able to bring that up.
Look, you know what? It is an unfortunate reality that that if you do well on a standardized test, You want people to know, but you can't talk about it, right? Like all I want to do is shout some scores into this microphone right now. The idea of it is intoxicating to me. I want you to know how I did on my tests, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, Guy, because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate.
So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person.
Okay, stop. I remember when my grandfather, before he passed away, had fallen and he was disoriented. They're like, do you know what day it is? He knew what day it is. Do you know what year it is? He knew what year it is. Do you know who the president is? And he said, yes, I know who the president is. Barack Obama is the president. Hillary Clinton is the next president. And Congress is full of assholes. Just a nice Bernie Sanders supporter, my grandfather.
If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. When you go back about 20, 25 minutes later and they say, go back to that question. They don't tell you this. Go back to that question and repeat them. Can you do it? And you go, person, woman, man.
Okay, stop. Jon, I want to make an argument. I want to make an argument that this isn't just hilarious and truly sad, that this is an important lesson for our country. During the primaries 4 years ago, people were trying to ask him questions, Trump questions, about what he was going to do with his businesses. And he did not answer those questions. And then after he was elected and there started being all of this trouble with the emoluments clause and stuff like that, people kept saying there should be something that says you can't self-deal like that. There have been so many times with Trump that people have said there should be a law that does not allow that. And the beautiful thing about our Constitution is there's one goddamn law that is supposed to stop these things from happening, and that is us voting. And like there isn't a requirement beyond being born in this country, being 35 and having lived here for 14 years. Like the only other thing is that you have to get enough states to vote for you that you can be president. And like we need to remember that this is the shit that can happen when we don't care and pay attention to the politics in our country. Like not all of us are going to give all of ourselves the way that so many activists do. So many people give so much of themselves to politics, and so many of us rely on them to be thinking for us and to be doing for us. And like, this is a reminder that we're the fucking test. Like we are the fucking test that is supposed to tell whether this dude is able to remember 5 words in order. And then we get to decide whether he gets the extra credit for remembering them in order.
We are the test. We are the test. I like that.
And if we don't give that test right, we're the ones who are failing.
And that's okay. Stop. Guy Branum, everybody. Thanks for joining us.